this report says it will cost almost $9,000 to create a simple betting app.
We think a basic betting app can't be all that hard. A couple of web services, bit of Xamarin, done.
Well, there might be some pain points, but using the scaffolder, we should be able to quickly achieve a proof of concept. Why don't we show you how easy it is to quickly create composite data applications using NextData Engine, but build this in one day.
Like a one-day build?
Yeah, but that name's taken. Let's get on with it. Steve and I spent the last half an hour brainstorming some ideas. For this project, we'll need a mobile application, some web services for getting odds and submitting a bet, and a web console to manage everything.
I've already found a free API that gives us some basic odds information. Mike, why don't I give that to you so you can set up the web services and I'll work on the mobile app. I'm going to use the mobile scaffolder in our new .NET Core version of NextData Engine to quickly set up a Xamarin mobile application. I've got my config ready to go with the name of our project. I've got my project folder empty and ready, and all I need to do is run the scaffolder from the command line and it will populate my folder with my project. It's given me an Android project, cross-platform Xamarin Forms app, and a data access project that will automatically create a SQLite database on the device at runtime. All I need to do is open the solution and configure it for our project.
While Steve is working on the mobile app, I'm going to use NextData Engine scaffolder to create an MVC web application, web service endpoints, and administration screens. I've got my configuration set up here with all my defaults, and I'm ready to go. Now that the NextData Engine scaffolder is completed, it has given me an MVC application with the admin and public areas ready to go with web API endpoints and database specific code ready for me to update with the specifics of this project. What's left for me is to set up the database tables and create scheduled jobs ready to expose the latest odd information and endpoints for Steve to use. So I've been working hard on some code and I've got all of my components and jobs created. It's time to start using them. What I've done in advance is been able to create some jobs here which are available for me to run now for Steve. So I can import all the sports information and the scheduler ran that, and I can import all of the events, and I should be able to access the sports information straight away. Also, we'll have the events available so that Steve can then select sports and the events that are currently on based on the Sportsbet API that we've linked up with. So one of the problems I found when developing on this particular project, when jumping from JSON and then getting access to code or creating code from the JSON, there will always be a problem when interpreting the data. So luckily for me, I've got the scaffolder available, but since I didn't spend the time creating the infrastructure code in this case, I could get on with the job of solving the problem.
I've spent the last few hours finishing off the mobile app. Now that Mike has given me access to the APIs, I'm ready to deploy to my Android emulator and test. So the app's now deployed to my Android emulator. We have a nice placeholder kitty. I can log in, and in a few moments I should see bets come in from the API. Bets have now arrived from Mike's web services. I think I'm going to place a bet on the Air Force in the Air Force vs San Diego State. My bet's now been placed and it'll show up in Mike's system. From here I could further improve the user interface, make it look a bit better, maybe do some work on profiles and login, but this has given me a really good starting point to prove the concept of getting odds data and placing a bet.
In less than a day, we were able to create a complete working mobile phone application, including a web-based management console and web services for it to talk to. Because of NextData Engine, its SDK, we're able to quickly create composite applications and get to the specifics of the project.
From here we could spend some extra time improving the user interface, expanding the profile and the ability to connect to betting sites. But really quickly, we have a proof of concept that we could use to move on with the project.
So if you're interested in working with us and seeing more about NextData Engine, head over to www.nextdata.io and find out more about NextData Engine.